Hare Krishna, I greet you in the love and light of Krishna. Freedom, life beyond liberation. What is liberation? Mukti means freedom from material consciousness. One who wants to become free, who wants to become liberated, must first of all learn that he is not this material body. The aim of human life is to get out of the clutches of Maya, repetition of birth and death, and transmigration from one body to another. That is the real aim of life. That is real freedom. The need of the spirit soul is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of material bondage and fulfill his desire for complete freedom. He wants to get out of the covered walls of the greater universe. He wants to see the free light and the spirit. That complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the personality of Godhead, Krishna. Liberation means freedom from the cycle of reactionary work. This liberation automatically follows for one who constantly remembers the transcendental pastimes of God. The ultimate aim of religious performances is to release oneself from material bondage and regain the life of freedom in the transcendental world where the personality of Godhead is the supreme person. This is the verdict of all the Vedic literatures. We should not seek temporary relief for our difficulties by worshipping the depending demigods who can bestow only temporary benefit. Rather, we must worship the absolute personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is all attractive and who can bestow upon us complete freedom from material bondage by taking us back home, back to Godhead. Freedom is obtained only through the transcendental service of the Lord. Illusioned by the external energy, everyone thinks that he is free, but actually he is bound up by the laws of nature. It is no use saying that we don't know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at this present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion, and therefore he knows everything, past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of Lord Krishna destines all actions and reactions, he is the supreme controller also. Without his sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The devotees of the Lord don't misuse their freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. Others, who misuse freedom, are put into miseries destined by eternal time, Kala. The Kala offers the conditioned souls both happiness and miseries. It is all predestined by eternal time. If one desires freedom from this vicious cycle, then one must stop to act as a kami or enjoyer of the results of one's own work, good or bad. One should not do anything, either good or bad, on his own account, but must execute everything on behalf of the Supreme Lord, the ultimate proprietor of everything. Materialistic life means that one is afflicted by a formidable disease called lusty desire. Liberation means freedom from lusty desires, because it is only due to such desires that one must accept repeated birth and death. As long as one's lusty desires are unfulfilled, one must take birth after birth to fulfill them. In the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bars. Similarly, the criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the Lord are shackled by the sex life. A living entity is not forced to come into the material world. He makes his own choice, being attracted by beautiful women and men. If one gradually gives up his heritable customs and duties and tries to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his natural position, he is gradually able to become free from these activities. and he attains the stage of niskama, freedom from material desires. Liberation means freedom from material bondage, and in the material world we are suffering life after life because of our bodily identification, and liberation is freedom from that miserable condition of life. Ignorance is the cause of sinful life, and sinful life is the cause of one's dragging on in material existence. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom, and this relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with the supersoul. The soul which lives in all souls, and as pure soul I am neither German, Indian, or American. I am pure soul. These others are designations. German, American or Indian, or Englishman, cat or dog, or bee or bat, man or wife. All these are designations. In spiritual consciousness, we become free from all such designations. That freedom is achieved when we are constantly in touch with the Supreme Spirit, Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. We should simply pray, kindly engage me in your service in whatever capacity you like. I have got no own desire, so Krishna, give us freedom. In whichever capacity you want to serve me, I shall accept, either as servant, either as friend, either as father, mother, or either as conjunctional lover. Anyway, Krishna is ready to accept your service, and he does not require any service, but if we render service, that is our benefit. In Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, there is no anxiety. Vaikuntha means freedom from anxiety. And in Vaikuntha, the liberated souls are always dancing, chanting, and taking prasada. There are no factories, hard work, or technical institutions. There is no need for these artificial things. When you are under the control of the material energy, that is your precarious condition, struggle for existence. And when you are under spiritual energy, that is your life of freedom. Radharani is spiritual energy, and Durga or Kali is material energy. There is another life, which is life of freedom, Nitya Mukta, that is spiritual life. The number of free living entities in the spiritual world is greater than the number of conditioned souls bound up in this material world. Each and every living being has its eternal form in the spiritual existence, and Krishna is the eternal attraction for all of them. This material world is just like a prison house. We must get out of it. We must get our freedom, the absolute freedom, Satchitananda Vigraha, a life full of knowledge, full of bliss, and eternal. That is our mission. Knowledge is the solution, and real knowledge is how to get freedom from repetition of birth and death. Everything is bondage so long as you claim it is mine. And as soon as you understand it is not mine, it is Krishna's, then you are free. This is the difference between bondage and freedom. Actually, everything belongs to Krishna. If you want to become associated with Krishna, then you cannot act as a sinful person. Just like a criminal is not allowed to come out of the jail, he has no freedom. Similarly, if we act sinfully in this life, then we will have to remain within this material world, one body after another. So we have to give up sinful activities. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, and no intoxication. These are the pillars of sinful life. The factual position of the living being is that he is the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. In his liberated state, he renders service to the Lord in transcendental love, and thus enjoys a life of full freedom, even sometimes on the equal level with the Lord, or sometimes more than the Lord. And Lord Krishna's attraction is so powerful that once being attracted by him, one cannot tolerate separation from him. Attachment to Krishna can be broken down into two categories. On one platform, there is attachment with awe and veneration. This type of attachment might be characterized by a certain lack of freedom and is exhibit in Mathura and on the Vaikuntha planets. In these abodis of the Lord, the spirit of transcendental loving service is restricted. In the five principal transcendental relationships, awe and veneration are sometimes impediments obscuring the Lord's actual greatness, and sometimes they actually impede one's service to the Lord. When there is friendship, paternal affection, and conjugal love, however, such awe and veneration are reduced. Eternal freedom and love. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that anyone who understands the transcendental nature of the Lord's appearance, activities, and disappearance becomes illegal for freedom from material bondage upon quitting the present material tabernacle. He can enter the spiritual kingdom to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and reciprocate the pleasure potency and transactions between him and the Lord. In Gokula Vrindavan, love is freely exchanged, and also the cowherd boys and damsels of Vrindavan know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they don't show awe and veneration because of the great intimacy of their relationship with him. In forms of the Personality of Godhead, other than Sri Krishna and Baladeva, there is no facility for intimate personal contact as in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. God's manifestation, his fullest manifestation, is at Vrindavan, and Krishna, when he's at Vrindavan, he has full freedom. In general, love of Godhead is devoid of the intimacy of ownership. In the case of love and servitude, there is a want of confidence. There is a want of increased affection in the fraternal relationship, but when this affection increases in the paternal relationship, there is nothing the less the want of complete freedom. However, when one becomes a conjugal lover of Krishna, everything lacking in the other relationships is completely manifest. Love of Godhead lacks nothing in the conjugal stage. Lord Chaitanya's greatest gift was his teaching that Krishna can be actually treated as one's lover. In this relationship, the Lord is so much attached that he expressed his inability to reciprocate. Krishna was so obliged to the gopis, the cowherd girls at Vrindavan, that he felt unable to return their love. I cannot repay your love, he told them. I have no more assets to return. Thus, devotional service is performed on this excellent platform, and knowledge of the devotee's relationship to Krishna as lover and beloved was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Rupa Goswami wrote of Lord Chaitanya, devotional service in the relationship of lover and beloved is the highest platform, the glorious platform Lord Chaitanya has contributed, and it was never given by any previous incarnation or acharya. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the yellow complexion, and he is Satchitananda, the son of Mother Sachi. May you always keep him in your heart. It will be easy to understand Krishna through him. Thus, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to live a Krishna, His method of deliverance was not meditation, fruitive activities, or scriptural study, but love. The elaboration and exposition on the philosophy taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are in fact the most voluminous, exacting, and consistent due to the unbreakable system of disciplinic succession of any religious culture in the world. Yet Lord Chaitanya left us only 8 verses called Siksastaka. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleans the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge, and it increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, your name alone can render all benediction to all living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are no hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am also so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than a straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire to enjoy beautiful women or men, and nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servant, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain, so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace, or makes me heartbroken by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. All glories to Sri Sri Radhe Shyama. All glories to the devotees and all living beings. Jaya Prabhupada ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtana ki Jai. May Radha Krishna bless our hearts with devotion and love. And may we always remember Krishna and see him in every living being. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.